You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck, so you ordered the essentials, a power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you used your Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
You know, Mo's got a podcast, right, called In the Moment. And if you're a big-time Burt Show listener, a former Burt Show cast member came back to join Mo on his podcast. Listen and subscribe for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Look, if you are like me, you are pressed for time, right? But you have to eat, and you have to do it in a healthy way. Insert HelloFresh. That's who I started using, saving me a ton of time and making me feel great because, honestly, the food that you put in your body is your fuel. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips with less prep, less effort, minimal cleanup, so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner to the table in just about 30 minutes. Choose from 50 menu and market items each week, from vegetarian meals to craft burgers and extra special gourmet options. All are available from HelloFresh. So let's save you some money too here. Go to HelloFresh.com/Burt14. You got to use the code BURT14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Burt14. Use code BURT14 for up to 14 meals plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
It's The Burt Show with Burt, Kristen, Davi, and Mo. Hear new episodes every weekday and the weekly top 10 on the weekends. Real funny.
I haven't even read the email yet, and I've already formed an opinion. All I know is that she's really worried that she's taking her kid over to her husband's boss's house for the weekend, and she knows that her kid is kind of a jerk, and she's really nervous about it. So my thing is, like, if your kid's a jerk, you might want to look in the mirror and see what you've done and how you've parented, because maybe you had something to do with that.
And maybe not take him over to your husband's boss's house.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Burt Show. My son is 6. He's kind of a little jerk.
At least she sees it.
Yeah.
A lot of parents don't even see it.
I try to say that as lovingly as possible, but it's true. He's just such a pain no matter who he's around. Doesn't matter if it's me, his teachers, or his grandparents. He can be such a little terror. Wow. It's escalating.
She says that in the most loving way.
Of course. I know a lot of kids act one way at home, but act another way at other people's houses or at school. That is a very common thing, by the way. That is not the case with my kid. He also can be pretty bratty towards other kids.
And I mean, I think we have to honor his consistency here.
Yeah.
He knows who he is.
He's not trying to fool anybody.
He is an equal opportunity jerk.
Yep.
In fact, several other moms just won't let him play with their kids. I know it all sounds awful, and I do love him. We've tried lots of different things, from punishment to positive reinforcement. Nothing works. Well, my husband's boss has a little boy about the same age. They've played together before, but it's been a while. Apparently, his son was asking about our son recently. His dad, my husband's boss, said he would arrange some time for them to play. Well, a play date turned into spending the night. My husband accepted the invitation because he felt obligated. I think this is a really bad idea. My son has been known to not only misbehave for adults, but be a bit of a bully. Sometimes he's gotten in trouble at school for hitting other kids, and there's been more than one occasion where he's taken things that don't belong to him. I think this could potentially be really bad for my husband's job, but my husband thinks it would be worse to decline the invitation. So what do I do? Do I make up some excuse for this weekend that maybe he got sick? Lisa, yes, he's sick. Kids get sick all the time. He's got a runny nose. You got to be careful. You don't want to spread the germs. He's sick.
Yeah, I've told you guys before, as a parent, I take a look at my kids, and I am responsible for the little people that they grow up to be, right? That's why I was beating myself up about my kid in college last week. But so I think, first things first, I think as the parents, you got to take a look at your kid and go, it's not acceptable that my kid's a jerk all over the place, right? But we're past that point now. So do you allow him to go over to the boss's house? I say yeah, with a caveat that you tell the boss, my kid's a little out of hand. I got to be honest with you.
I like the disclaimer.
Yeah. I mean, he's not easy at the house. He's not going to be easy over at your house. So, yeah, he can spend the night, but I'm just giving you the warning right now.
I would feel parent to parent that all parents understand. I was having multiple conversations with people last night. Like, it's hard. Like, just period. It's not easy. It's hard to be a parent, period. Whether you have a good kid, whether you have a bad kid. So I think there would be, I don't know, I don't want to say maybe camaraderie, but if you were just like, hey, listen, we've been struggling with behavioral issues lately. Put it like that. Don't say he's been a jerk for years. We've been struggling with some behavioral issues lately. I want to give you that warning and that heads up. If for any reason something arises and we need to come get him, we will gladly come get him. But we felt it was only fair that he's been acting out lately.
Yeah, or I say something like, maybe the timing's not right now. Maybe we can do this in a couple of months. But if you want to do it this weekend, I just want to let you know what we've been going through. Now, most parents, myself included, would go, you know what, I'm sure it's going to be fine. Have them come on over. And then I probably would just gut it out for the night. Even if he was being a little jerk, I would just put it on myself. But at least you gave him the warning.
I would take him over there if he was a regular bad kid, but this kid's a terror.
Such a terror.
A terror. No, I honestly would say that he's sick. And I mean, because I would just be afraid of what he's going to do, what he's going to say, and I don't want it to be awkward at work for my husband. I wouldn't do it. I found a reason not to.
Now, I would like to think not all parents are understanding parents. So putting that into play and thinking like maybe the boss and his wife wouldn't be understanding parents. What if the kid goes over there and is an absolute terror and it makes you look at the husband differently? Yeah. Like, because, if you can't handle this in your home, what makes me think you can handle stuff at the office?
100%. Even though you want to say that you don't. Look, I dated women whose kids were out of hand, man. And I made a judgment about them like, no. I don't want the kid around me. And I'm kind of looking at you a little on the different side also.
I think we're underestimating the boss here. He's a smart businessman. He's got his own company. He's seen a market that hasn't been filled yet. Baby Fight Club. Oh. I think the boss is in on it. Yeah. I think he recognizes that they have such a terror at home. Maybe he's got just a regular terror. And he's like, I'm going to put them in the ring together.
Use his talents for
Baby
profit.
Fight Club, yes.
My money's on Lisa's kid then. Sounds like they're getting training at home.
All right, should we all take bets?
Let's bet. If it happens this weekend.
Go on with such a terror.
Who's going against Lisa's kids?
No, we all got Lisa's kids.
Put a hundo on such a terror for me.
The Burt Show.
All right, so yesterday, it was about this time that our producer Cairo came on, and as he usually does when he comes on and tells us something going on in his life, it doesn't make 100% sense to us. And yesterday's tale certainly didn't. Is this Cairo on, or is this his girlfriend on? Both. Okay, so yesterday Cairo came on and said, look, my girlfriend's upset at me because I went to a bar, and when I came back, I told her that I accepted a couple of drinks from a girl, and she's like, why are you doing that? We're a team here. You're in a committed relationship. And he's like, no harm, no foul. I didn't even talk to the girl. I took the drinks and I went the other way. So right after the show, Cairo hits Tommy back and goes, you might want to put my girlfriend on. She might have a different take on what happened than what I said.
You mean there's two sides to the story?
Believe it, Tommy.
By the way, we were joking yesterday about putting her on the voice disguiser, so I actually am putting her on the voice disguiser. And she's requested another name, so we're calling her Anna, short for Anonymous.
So she doesn't want anybody to know that she's dating Cairo or who she is.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Anna.
Can we go on the voice disguiser too?
Hey, Anna.
Hey, good morning, Burt Show.
Good morning. Okay, so the story that Cairo was telling us yesterday didn't make a lot of sense either. What did he not tell us? Why were you upset?
Well, from my point of view, the whole drink thing is not a big issue. Like, I understand that. I've gotten drinks before. No biggie. But for me, the issue is why he said that, like, we were talking about it over the phone, and he said that I was talking about it, and he mentioned the reason why he would never cheat. And that's why I was like, where did this come from? That's a little random, especially in reference to free drinks. So that was a blind sight.
Oh, okay. So he kind of put the idea in your head by jumping right to that.
Yeah.
So he's almost like putting it on you like, Like, why would you even think that I would use this as the gateway to cheat? And that was putting you off?
Yeah, for sure. Because what he told me over text, which maybe is a little odd to read over text and not just FaceTime him, but he was saying that it's too much of a hassle to like have two relationships at once.
Oh, that's his reason for not cheating.
Why he wouldn't cheat. Okay.
Sometimes you say too much.
Not because he respects you too much.
Yeah, baby, I'm not cheating on you. I'm too lazy.
Yeah, I ain't got enough money for that.
It's not because I'm committed to you.
That's 2 whole birthdays? 2 whole anniversaries?
I don't have enough time or energy to screw around on you.
I mean, can I defend myself?
No, you
just
can't.
A little bit?
No, it's her turn.
You can try.
It's true. Like I really like her, and she deserves
Better.
all of.
better than you, I think.
She deserves all of the time I have in the world and everything. So
Did you say that?
yeah, I couldn't split that in half between 2 different women.
What are you?
You're like, you don't understand what we're saying. Like, she said, I'm upset you accepted the drink. You could have just said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that would hurt your feelings. I won't do it again. But instead you're like, I'm not going to cheat on you. And then you said, and I won't, because that's too much to do. Like, it's two women's too many. You're not saying because I respect you, because I care about you, like any of that stuff that girls want to hear. You're saying it's literally like not fiscally responsible to cheat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't cheat on her because I do respect her, and she deserves 100% of my time and focus. Does that make it sound better?
No.
No, it sounds like you read that somewhere. Just threw it in there.
Yeah, where are your eyes looking right now? What are you looking at? You got something on your hand?
How about I couldn't imagine myself with anybody else? The idea has never even entered my head or my heart because I'm so content because she's so special. Something like that.
Try again. Come on, here you go.
All right, trying again. I don't understand people who cheat because you're awesome, and I wouldn't want to take that risk with someone else.
I wouldn't want to take what risk?
You know, that they're not as cool. I mean, they're not as awesome as you. Like, you're
Stop.
pretty great.
Oh, God. You say
You put the
too
shovel
much,
down.
and then you don't say enough, and then you say too much again. It's very frustrating.
I understand why she's on The Voice, guys.
Yeah.
Is she even
different
still
name.
with us? I think she hung up.
And I just have one question for you, really. Why? That's it. Why?
I just...
Anna.
No, Anna.
Sometimes
not
I
you,
don't follow.
No,
Cairo,
not you, Cairo.
you said enough.
Yeah, that was for Anna.
Oh.
Why?
Oh, this is for me.
Yeah.
Why Cairo?
Yes.
Oh, like, why am I dating him? Oh, well, he's super sweet and kind, and he makes me feel like I'm the smartest woman in the world, which is, like, really rad.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Okay. And
Anybody?
okay.
Okay, I just want to. Okay, what was said, and we are obviously validating Anna's feelings. So, Cairo, let's stop talking about that. Is there anything that you would like to say? Would you like to apologize? Is there anything you would like to say to Anna to kind of like clear this up?
Yes. First, I'd like to say that she's on the voice disguiser. I think she could do a better job describing why, because it's not because I'm a terrible boyfriend. Completely.
Yeah. And I can explain that, because, like, I don't know if Pyro's still jail, but I am a teacher. And I just, for me, my friends that are coworkers have put things on social media before, like them going out and taking a drink and things like that and posting it. And I just didn't want my admin team getting mad at me and, like, they see pictures of me with Cairo, and I love him to death, but sometimes he doesn't make always the best decisions. So, yeah.
If you literally love him to death, I will understand it.
I think when Kristen said was anything you would like to say, like apologize, she was hating at you to apologize.
I want to apologize too, but
Right over the head.
I'm sorry for saying I wouldn't cheat on you because it would
stop.
be...
Stop. Just, I'm sorry.
That's it, man.
And then,
I'm sorry.
There you go. Yes.
That's it. Now hang up.
We got there, everybody. Yay.
All right. And I would strongly suggest you reconsider.
Thank you for coming on with us. Voice disguiser and all.
The Burt Show. What's trending now? Kristen knows. It's the Burt Show's entertainment buzz.
Tiger King 2 is coming to Netflix before the end of the year.
Stretch that dollar.
Of course.
Stretch it.
Killing Carol Baskins again.
And Carol Baskin is not happy about it.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked her.
That's probably why.
Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening?
Carol Baskin. Yeah, she did not take part in this one. She says the director wanted to clear the air about how she was treated in the first Tiger King, but she told them to lose her number. Ooh.
Good. She's a national treasure and she needs to protect herself.
She said there is no explanation for such a betrayal and false portrayal. If people want to know the actual truth behind the big cat crisis in the U.S. and how it all started, they should be demanding to see the Conservation Game film by Michael Weber. His film answers the important questions that Tiger King glossed over. Netflix isn't saying much about Tiger King 2, but obviously Joe Exotic can only participate from behind bars because that's where he currently is right now.
She is too good a person to be getting involved in this buffoonery. She has been on Dancing with the Stars. She has moved on from this buffoonery.
Did you watch her on Dancing with the Stars?
No.
Did you just call Tiger King buffoonery?
Buffoonery.
This is the documentary that brought us together
It did.
when the pandemic first started.
Yes.
We will all forever be connected thanks to Tiger King.
It
That's
gave
a
us
fact.
a glimpse of unity before we realized everybody was going to lose their minds over a small piece of cloth over their face.
It was wonderful. It really was.
It
I mean,
really
there are
was.
very few series where you can look at every single character and say, they all suck. Every one of those
Not
people
all
are
of
bad
them.
people. Who was good?
The
one who lost-
the
didn't have an
employee
arm?
that
that's
lost
right.
an arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Commitment.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a real commitment.
The Burt Show.
You know, one thing that we haven't explored a lot on The Burt Show? Grandparent on grandparent hate.
Grandma.
Yeah, grandparent versus grandparents.
Yeah.
There is a market, I guess.
We're about to get into it. All right, because as I'm reading this, it's her husband's parents that appear to be just showering their kids with gifts constantly. So I guess the grandkids and her parents, the other set of grandparents, are feeling a certain way about it. And her mom wants to talk to her husband's dad or mom this weekend. Does that make any sense?
Yep,
So
it
you
does.
got grandparent on grandparent conversation. Dear Burt Shoe, I'd love your opinions, but I'd also love some opinions from other parents and grandparents. I know lots of grandparents like to spoil their grandchildren. This has become a bit of an issue in my own family. My husband's family has never had to struggle for money. His parents, quite well off. They like to buy my kids everything, every expensive item that my children have came from my in-laws. Their iPads, electric scooters, their VR set, everything all came from them. On top of that, they never come over to our house empty-handed. They always bring some type of toy or a gift. This really bothers my own parents. They just don't have that kind of money. They're really scraping by and don't have money for retirement, so they feel bad that they can't provide the same types of things for my children. They do spend a lot of time with my kids. However, since they both still work, they can't spend as much time as my husband's parents. My mom expects me to talk to my in-laws and get them to realize that buying all of these gifts is unnecessary. I know my mom feels like my kids like their other grandparents more because of all these things. I try to tell my mom that isn't the case, but in all honesty, I think she's right. So, how do I handle it? From Leah, 1-855-BURT Show.
It's not about them.
Yep.
It's about the kids. Like, I'm sorry that them buying the kids gifts makes you feel bad, but comparison is the thief of joy. You do what you can and you spend what time you can with the kids, But I don't think it's fair to tell somebody, hey, you can't buy the kids this anymore because it makes me feel bad.
Right.
It's not about you. It's about the kids. Now, if the parents are like, you're spoiling our kids, we need to put our foot down. Like, if there was another issue there and the parents wanted to be like, you're overstepping your boundaries with buying all this stuff, that's a different conversation because it's their kids. But when it's the other set of grandparents, if the parents don't have a problem with it and the kids aren't being like harmed or hurt in any way, then man, you're going to have to find a way to work through those feelings.
It would be hard to swallow your ego on that.
Totally.
Like the kids are so excited for the other grandparents to come over because now they've been trained that when the other grandparents come over, they're going to get some extravagant toy. And then when her parents come over, it's like, wah, wah, what? All we're getting is time? Ugh. Time with the grandparent? Ugh.
No, I get that. The circumstances are the circumstances, though. It definitely wouldn't be fair to have the kids get less simply because you feel a way about what the other grandparents can do. They just maybe have to be more creative about how they go about spending their time with the kids if you can't use money to do it.
I'm not a parent or a grandparent, but I have had a fish.
Yeah.
What did you do for your fish?
Well, it followed my husband's finger, but not mine. And I was like, he must be giving that fish gifts on the side. You know, like, what is the deal? So I was always really jealous. And then when the fish got gas and he floated to the top and he couldn't swim anymore, then he died. But I wasn't sad about it.
So
You're so weird.
what's the moral to the story here that one of the parents is going to die eventually and you're not going to be sad about it? One of the grandparents?
No, I don't know where I was going with that at all.
Just wanted to get that
I
off
think
your
the
chest.
ambience still in my system. I'm sorry.
Eddie, good morning. You're on the Burt Show. Hi.
Good morning, Burt Show. You guys are awesome. Mo, I have exactly the same feeling. I believe that the parents should tell each of their parents to kind of come up with their own way. You know, like the dad should definitely talk to her in-laws because it's his parents and just tell them to kind of calm down a little bit. And at the same time, you know, the mom's parents shouldn't really worry about the money. If somebody's buying the kids something, it shouldn't matter how it's getting there. Like, they should just spend time with them. We have the same problem in my family.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter. My parents spend as much time with my kids as possible. And my wife's parents, they have the money. So we just figure it out. I mean, the kids are going to be spoiled regardless. That's the grandparents' job.
Now, Eddie, are you talking about real children or are you talking about goldfish like Davi was? I mean, we're talking about real.
It was a beta
I've
fish.
actually never had a fish. I'm actually talking about real fish.
Then don't call up with parenting advice if you've never had a goldfish.
It was a beta fish. His name was Fat Tony.
Fat Tony the beta fish.
Yes.
You called it Fat Tony?
His name was Fat Tony.
I think I've told you guys about the fish tank I had like back in high school.
No.
Oh my God, I got so into it. This was going to be my brand new hobby. Was like,
you seem like an aquarium guy.
well,
You actually do, and I don't know why.
Really?
There's a fanciness that comes with aquarium guys.
A fanciness?
Got it.
So-
That wasn't the adjective.
I think you seem like a fancy aquarium guy is what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
yes.
Like Bert would have the fish that you're like, the hell is that?
Or
And
the
he'd
one
be
with
like,
the jellyfish in it.
Yeah. Like, I got that on the side. Don't tell anybody I own that.
Well, I didn't come from a family that had a lot of money for anything, and it certainly wasn't going to be an extravagant fish tank, but I don't know how I got into it. I think I was reading a book, and I decided that, you know what I'm going to do? Because now I realize that you could mix this type of guppy with this color tail, with a different guppy with this color tail, and you could manipulate the tails and the colors, and then you could turn around and you could sell them. This is awesome, man. This is really cool. So I started mating guppies, right? I swear to God.
Why does every guy have like a mating animals phase? Like, I know too many guys that were like, you know what I'm doing now? I quit my job. I'm going to sell bearded dragons. And like, just every dude goes through. Yours was guppies, and that's adorable.
How have I known you for a decade, and I did not know you had a past hobby of mating guppies?
Well, I think you'll remember the end of the story because I've told it before. It ended horribly. Like, the brothers and sisters started mating with each other, and the moms were like doing it with their kids and stuff. So by the time that I was done, I never sold one guppy. It was like the fish tank of misfit toys. It was
nasty
like
aquarium.
they had 4 eyes. You could see through some of the guppies. They were begging to get out of it. Help me! It was really, really bad.
No, you have
You're a bad
never.
person.
You made mutated guppies. You had X-Men guppies.
It was like they're out outside. The insides were growing on the outside.
Oh, my God.
What did you do wrong?
I don't
Everything.
Inbreeding, man.
FYI, I have never heard that story.
That's amazing.
I would remember see-through guppies. Like, you have never told that story.
I don't think I've read through the entire manual on exactly how to do it. I think I just got bored with it. And I'm like, you know what? This tail goes with that tail, and it'll make a purple tail. It'll be awesome. But I think when the grandfather, like Guppy, started having sex with the grandkid, it really messed things up.
All right, man. All right. This is nasty.
I'm disgusted, but I'm so happy with this tangent. This is great.
You guys ever hear of the movie the Island of Dr. Moreau?
Yes.
That's what the fish tank was like.
The Burt Show.
All right, so we can do some good work here today. What did you do that was effective when your kid was getting bullied? We've talked about bullying on the show before. Cassie's going to get into this with a friend of hers, but most of the calls that we take are from frustrated parents saying that it took me forever. I still didn't get answers. The administration wouldn't take me seriously. The teachers wouldn't take me seriously. So what I would like to do is hear from you that fixed the bullying situation with your kids. And how'd you get it done, Cass?
My friend has a 7-year-old daughter who's being bullied at school by a group of girls. And it's nothing physical. It's just they're really emotionally mean. They call her fat. They call her dumb. They say she has no friends because she's a stupid artist. Just like all this kind of stuff. She likes painting. Like she does little, well, I don't want to downplay it by saying little paintings. She's a good artist, but she does painting. She takes art, and they're just calling her all of these names and making her feel awful. And her parents have noticed that she started to become more withdrawn. She kind of just comes home and goes to her room and shuts herself in there. Her mom can hear her crying, and she finally talked to her about it. And she told her about this group of girls. So the mom reached out to the school and has contacted the parents of those girls, and the parents of the girls won't do anything, and the school won't do anything because there's nothing physical. So they say they can't do anything about it, even though this is happening, and it's just as harmful as, I think emotional bullying is just as harmful and detrimental as physical to some extent. And mom doesn't know what to do because taking her daughter out of school isn't really an option. They can't do private school. Like, they can't do any of that. So she's at a loss because she feels completely unsupported by the school system, and she's just flabbergasted that the bullies' parents, like all of these girls, there's 3 of them, none of them will speak to their daughters or do anything about it, and she just doesn't know what else to do.
Yeah, because the parents are probably like, oh, you're just getting, you know what, this is just needling. But it's more than that, you know? And some parents will just take it so lightly that they don't realize that this is no different than a kid getting beat up on the playground.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever shared this fully, and you think 7, that's so young, but I dealt with the same thing when I was in 1st and 2nd grade, and I had a group of 3 girls that went out of their way to exclude me and try to make me feel bad. And I always called it picking on, but looking back now, it's definitely more of a bullying situation. My mom had us enrolled in a private school, and that's where this was happening. And in all sincerity, how it got fixed, she took us out of the school, and I ended up going to a different public school, and ended up being the best experience of my life.
That's the only option, huh? It's like leave the situation.
I don't know if that's the only option, but that's what my parents ultimately did for me and my brother. It's drastic, and it sucks because you would hope that the school would intervene and that these other parents would intervene. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So instead, I switched schools.
Anybody got any ideas that's listening? And we're not talking about physical abuse.
No.
1-855-BIRCH. I remember my therapist telling me this at one point when I walked in there, saying that when you're treating abuse, and she was with me, it's harder to treat the abuse that's mental and emotional, because I can't point to a cigarette burn on my arm or a broken arm or something like that. You really got to work inwards. So it's a more difficult situation.
I'm just especially mad on behalf of my friend at the school system that's not doing anything, because from my conversations with her, the teachers seem indifferent. Like her daughter is, if you've seen like She's All That, the original, whatever, like she is the main character in the artist version. Like she is shy, she is quiet. She's just different in a way from the other kids, but not in a bad way. She just hasn't found her crowd yet. Like she's the kind who will flourish when she gets to high school or college and there are other people like her around. Like she has a group. She's just different from the kids around her right now. So my friend is getting the vibe from the teachers as well, that the teachers are kind of being like, they're not being mean to her, but they're not invested because she's not one of the popular cute students, quote unquote. Okay. All right. And then even like up the chain, the principal won't do anything about it. Like she is just trying to get some traction so they can talk to these parents or, I don't know, separate the girls. And she is getting zero support for her daughter at all.
Here is Cindy, who wants to be on the Voice Disguiser. Hey, Cindy. Hello?
We got you now.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you now.
Hello?
Hello?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, tell them to just give it right back to the girls because, I mean, that's what I ended up doing. She wants to be an artist. Everyone knows who Picasso is. Nobody knows who the people that told Picasso he was stupid is.
No, his name was Jonathan. I know that kid. And Peter.
Jonathan Picasso.
Peter and Sam also.
Jonathan was
Picasso to
a
work.
total D-bag to Picasso. Picasso got bullied.
Can believe that used to be it. I remember me going home telling my dad that this guy Sean Mayo was picking on me in school, and my dad was just like, you know how you handle that? You go and you pop him in the face.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in my house.
Can't really do that anymore.
No, man.
And at the risk of sounding like a total softie and pushover, like, doesn't that teach your kid that to bully back is okay?
Or just that violence is the answer. Like in the face of any kind of conflict or anything, aggression is the answer. Don't teach your kids that. My dad taught me that. Look how I am.
I don't think there's anything stronger we could say than that itself. Hey.
The Burt Show.
All right, Katie is watching because the weekend, this train wreck / wedding is supposed to happen, but she's watching it unfold this week and thinks it's going to be a mess this weekend.
Yes, my best friend's wedding is this weekend, and I'm really nervous.
I'm nervous for you.
Me too.
The shenanigans start today, and I'm just, it has been a journey. So you all remember when I went on that bachelor's trip that I had planned because I'm the best woman in my best friend's wedding?
When
right?
you went by yourself for like the first few days because they forgot to buy plane tickets.
Yeah, they waited.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the guys waited to the last minute because
that's what we do.
You know,
that's what we do.
Don't say that's what we do.
It is what we do.
That is what we do. But we normally remember to buy the plane ticket.
Yeah, we'll get it done. That's like when Tiffany and I have plans with, like, let's say our friends Molly and Joel. And I'll say to Tiffany, yeah, Joel and I are working it out. We're going to all link up on Saturday. What time? I don't know. We'll hit each other on Saturday morning.
Figure it out Saturday morning.
Hey, guys just handle it differently.
No, but this was mishandled, not handled differently. They didn't get their plane tickets and they missed out on an entire day of a bachelor party. Like, that's a massive screw up.
Well, that's pushing it.
Thank you.
Well, if you're going to put it that way.
Thank you.
They knew all the details.
Handle it differently. Well, they completely screwed it up.
So, Katie, you were paying for an Airbnb or hotel like those days that they weren't there because they forgot. So, like that, yeah, you were footing that. You had to organize everything. They had the information. They just didn't read the full email.
She had to switch activities because she had something planned for that day, and no, they're not there. Why? Because they mishandled it.
Yep.
Exactly. So
we're upset for you.
I don't know why I had hope for them.
You know better.
I should have known better because now the wedding is tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And if the wedding is tomorrow and you are a part of the groom's party and stuff like that, when do you think that you would have your outfits by?
Oh no!
A couple months prior,
like months ago.
You mean for the actual wedding?
Yeah, for the actual wedding. If you're in the wedding, you're on the groom side. You're a groomsman.
Weeks ago.
Bridesmaids need their dress like 8 months ahead of time to get hemmed and whatnots and get it fitted. So I'm assuming a guy needs it at least 5 months.
If he's gonna if he's buying a suit, if it's rented, it might be a little different. But still, you need to have that minimum a month or two prior.
Yeah, and then you go and you get just to that final. You know, you slip it on just to make sure that it's looking good, like maybe the day or two before. But as far as confirming them, it's months.
So as of this week, 2 of the groomsmen did not have their tuxes.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, it's wedding season, it's homecoming time. Like, there might not be any.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was real simple. You know, hey, this is where we're all getting our tuxes from. We can all go together. There was an appointment where we were all supposed to go together months ago to go and get fitted and everything. And those who didn't were like, okay, look, they have you in the system. They're waiting for you to get there. You just show up.
You did everything.
And get fitted. That's it.
All you got to do is show up. That's it. Walk in the
Show
door.
up.
And
Did they have any excuses?
He's like, oh, I didn't miss it. I missed it in the group chat. I didn't remember seeing that in the group chat. One of the groomsmen was like, I didn't see it in the group chat. Now I got to go find a tux. And then he tried to go to the same place where we all got our tuxes from, right? And they're like, well, dude, the wedding is this week. You want to get fitted. And everyone purchased their tux. So this is not a rental. It's purchased. So if it's purchased, it has to be tailored.
It's custom fitted.
You can't buy one of those things right off the rack that fits perfectly?
No.
You can't? No? I'm a serious question.
Sorry, you want the bowling shoe of tuxes?
That's no, right?
No,
That's a no.
Okay.
You want to wear a bowling shoe?
I would have no problem wearing a bowling shoe at a wedding.
Does the bride have any idea any of this is going down, or have you all kept her in the dark?
Oh, no, she knows.
Oh, damn.
And she is fuming. And you know what? Oh, let's just add it on. Let's just add some more on. All right. So 2 groomsmen didn't get the tux. One just got a tux literally yesterday. He called me yesterday and said, I got it. And I'm like, so I'm frustrated with that. And the groom, he wanted to wear ties with the tux. And I was like, dude, I think bow ties look better with tux. We're all like on this James Bond type of level. You want a nice little bow tie, right? And he's like, I don't want anything around my neck. I was like, dude, whatever. It's your wedding. If you don't want anything around your neck, that is completely fine. And he made this decision a month ago. And he's like, nothing around my neck. The bride was like, no, you're putting on a bow tie. All of you. So we had to match it, of course, to the bride's dresses, right? And the color.
The bridesmaids.
Yeah, the color is a beautiful hunter green. So then the groom was like, okay, I'll handle the bow ties. I'm like, dude, you're going to get the bow ties? He's like, I'm going to get the bow ties. He orders the bow ties 2 weeks ago. However, he didn't realize the bow ties were coming from China.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Oh, no.
So the bow ties are not here.
They're going to show up in 2 months in a really, mishandled bag.
But thanks to Amazon Prime, got it handled. Okay. Then when the groomsman decided to dye his hair platinum blonde. Without telling the bride, and she is pissed.
He went Cisco for no reason?
What is happening?
I can't wait to hear this on Monday.
What is happening?
Last night she called me. She said, Katie, call the groom because he's upset. He's a mess. I called him. He is a defeated man today. He doesn't know what's going on. He needs so much. It's
the day before the wedding.
Yeah, the wedding is tomorrow.
Now, this is a wedding I want to go to, right?
Yes. Stressful.
Can I tailgate? Can I buy seats just to watch?
I need a ticket.
That's all.
The Burt Show.
We are about to start helping Amy text her husband because Amy is about to rock her husband's world and disrupt everything that's going on in their home. Amy, do I have that right?
That is absolutely right, yes.
All right, how can we assist you blowing up your comfortable home?
So my wonderful husband is not a fan of my sister. He puts up with her just for me, but he just does not like her. So when she started dating his best friend, he really hated it. So now, long story short, they just broke up, and now my sister needs to move out of his place, like, right away.
Okay, let's back up for a second here. So if we had your husband on and we were like, what's your beef with Amy's sister? Where do we even start? What's his problem?
He just thinks that she is so annoying. Like, what does she do that really gets on his nerves?
Is she like much younger than you and just she's immature and...
Well, she is immature. Yeah, I mean, she's not that much younger than me, but that's one of the reasons why he's annoyed too. Like, why isn't she more mature?
Is some of it in defense of you? Like, does your sister like manipulate you where he's just like, oh, I can't stand her because you can't tell her no?
Yeah, well, he does think she's selfish.
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't say she's a manipulator. He just thinks that, she's selfish. And that really, really bugs him.
Is your sister everything he thinks she is?
I mean, she's my little sister.
You don't not disagree.
All right, but she is your sister, is really what you're saying.
Great question, Bert.
Yeah.
All right, so you got yourself an annoying younger sister. And
I love her. She's a dear.
Right. Okay.
Off the record, she's annoying.
Yeah.
But he's lukewarm to her or cold altogether. So how are you going to rock this house?
Okay, so she has to move out by this weekend, period. Like as soon as possible from his best friend's place. And unfortunately right now she's between jobs. So she has no income at all and no savings much really. So
just curious if some of your husband's concern is there are different definitions of between jobs. How long has she been in between jobs?
I mean, it's hard out there right now, kind of. It's been, it's been a month. I think she's working.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say. After 3 months, it's not between jobs anymore. You unemployed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you might not even have any intent on getting another job, so you're not in between anything. All right. So he, on a scale of 1 to 10, his dislike for her is about an 8. She's got to move out. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Certainly not somebody he wants in his house every single day. But she has to move out of her current place?
Right.
Oh, boy.
So she needs a place to be, and she's got to be out, by this weekend. And
your parents are not a viable option?
No.
Is anyone else a viable option?
You need to make someone else a viable option.
Anyone else?
Mo, you got room.
Holiday Inn Express a viable option?
She's in my parents' fight a lot. Everybody would be miserable. That's just not even possible. Well, okay, so here's the viable option. Maybe she could stay with us for a few weeks until she gets on her feet again.
Davi, did you say no?
No. I don't think it's a good idea.
I think it's lovely of you to help your sister out.
Against her husband's wishes.
She hasn't asked yet.
It's his house just as much as her. She knows the answer is going to be no. We've been trying to.
Don't know that.
Well, let's assume that it's going to be no, because I'm thinking if Amy thinks it would be an easy yes, then she wouldn't be calling for our
So if
help.
I went to my husband, and this is not our scenario because he and my brother get along great. They're like two little goofy peas in a pod. But if I went to my husband and I was like, my brother is in between jobs. He needs a place to stay because he's moving out of his current place. Can he stay with us for a couple weeks? And my husband says no. I'm going to be like, okay, well then what's your suggestion?
Right.
You have to put it on the husband and be like, okay, this is my suggestion to help my brother out. And I know you two don't get along great, but we would put in writing that this is only for however much time. There would have to be boundaries set. So if you are adamantly against her moving in, what is your suggestion? What is your solution?
An application to McDonald's.
That's where we start.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to have to work with some wiggle room here. All right, Amy, so hang out with us for a couple of minutes. When we come back, we'll start texting your husband with you. But in between that time, start thinking of exactly what a backup plan can be or what you can offer, because you already know dude is not going to be happy with this, right?
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah.
All right, so we'll start texting tutor with Amy coming up next on The Burt Show.
Get it? The Burt Show.
Kristen, we are spending time with Amy on Texting Tutor. Why?
Amy has a younger sister. She is about to be homeless because she is moving out / getting kicked out of her current place. She's in between jobs right now. She's been unemployed for about a month. And Amy's little sister doesn't necessarily get along with her husband. Her husband finds her incredibly annoying, but her sister needs a place to live. So Amy wants to reach out to her husband and text her husband to, I don't even know, do you ask? Do you tell? What kind of relationship do you have with your husband here? Hey, this is a family member in need. This is what we have to do. Or are you coming to him to be like, do I have your blessing?
And the reason she was without housing is because husband's best friend broke up with her, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Almost forgot about
His
that
best
part.
friend.
Right. Okay. So he already knows this is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get all that right, Amy?
Yeah, you got it all right. And I mean, I wouldn't bulldoze him on this because I don't want to cause problems with us, but I just feel bad for my little sister. And
I get that. And you would never, I think everybody agrees that you would never want to bring something in your home that would be detrimental to your relationship. So be honest with us and yourself. Will having your sister in your home be detrimental to your marriage?
it's not going to be easy.
Say again.
I'm just saying, it's not going to be easy, but I mean, I'll take it on. I will be the diplomat. I will be the bridge. I feel like I'm not going to get a lot of sleep, but
Okay.
Sounds like we're talking about bringing a dog in the house.
Yes.
So if we bring her in, I promise I'll take care of her.
She's obviously not housebroken.
I'll clean up after her.
Your husband has an allergy to your sister.
All right, so you're asking for his blessing.
yeah, and I mean, if he really stands hard, I'm not going to be nasty. I mean, I just don't have any other idea of what she could do. I just don't.
Is there any way, you guys, to like sort of lead with that? Like you're not happy about it either. So you guys are in this situation together. So you're almost like working as a team here. Look, we need to help my sister out, but you're not happy with it also, and it's temporary.
I need you to be there for me so I can be there for my sister.
Please keep an open mind.
It's a bit of an unfortunate situation.
What do you call him? Like, what's your pet name for him?
Honey.
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 Okay. Hey, honey.
Yeah.
I have a difficult situation, and I need your help.
Okay.
My sister needs a temporary place to stay. We are her only viable option. How do we end it?
Didn't you say something about I'm not happy about it either?
Can she say, like, I know
I don't
this?
want to point it out, though.
I know this would be a tremendous sacrifice, but it's only temporary or something.
I know this would be a tremendous sacrifice on your part, but it would mean so much to me and her.
Okay.
Should we end with, I'm sorry for putting you in this position?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. And then end it with, I'm sorry for putting you in this position.
This position, okay.
Now read it back to us in its entirety.
Hey, honey, I have a difficult situation and I need your help. My sister needs a temporary place to stay. We are her only viable option. I know this would be a tremendous sacrifice on your part, but it would mean so much to me and her. I'm sorry for putting you in this position.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. Grovel, baby, grovel, baby, grovel, baby, grovel.
Go ahead, send it out.
Yep.
Send it.
All right.
So if I'm him, my first question is, what
women's
is
shelter's
temporary? What's that?
The women's shelter's full. He's going to be mean.
I would say, I think, like, what does temporary mean?
That's what I was
like.
saying.
I'm open to it if it's like between noon and 3 o'clock today.
She's going to be in between houses the same way she's in between jobs.
Well, let's go ahead and ask Amy that question while he's responding back. What is temporary to you? Like, what do you think you and your husband can withstand?
Should she come in high?
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
Because he's going to be like 1 week and she's going to be like 5.
Right. So maybe she comes in at like, well, how long do you think it's going to be?
I mean, I think it could be like a couple months.
Oh,
Bert doesn't even know her.
All right,
You don't live there,
so we're going to come in and negotiate a decade.
And hopefully land in the 3-month range.
Oh, no.
Damn.
We can't do that.
No.
I can't do that to him.
I don't know your
That's
husband, and I am
there.
mad.
What if we don't give a time frame and we just say just until she gets back on her feet?
No,
she's
he's gonna
actively
ask.
searching for a
He's
job.
gonna ask.
You have got to put that thing in writing.
Yeah.
How about we push that can down the road? And what we do is if he comes back with that, be like, I suggest you, me, and her all sit down and we come up with terms of...
New house rules.
Yeah, terms of agreement.
Has he even hit your back yet?
Yeah, he just did, yes. He said, oh, gosh. He said, are you serious?
Oh.
I think you write back and say, no, just joking.
Unfortunately, I am.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, comma, I am.
Should we add,
Okay.
she's my sister, comma, I just can't turn my back on her.
Yeah, be unfortunately, comma, I am. I know she's annoying, comma, but she's my sister and I can't turn my back on her.
Should you say, I know she annoys you, just that way, since it'll be in writing, you can't get in trouble on the back. You know, if he were to ever show that to her sister.
I would hope my
Right.
husband would never do something like that.
Or if she sees it, it might not be calculated.
Your call of how much you trust your husband.
Like, I'm sure you do trust your husband, but it takes like one very heated argument between your husband and your sister. And he's like, we think you're so annoying. And she'll be like, what do you mean? And I'll be like, even, I got this text to show you.
Yeah, he'd be like, nobody wants you here.
My mind can't even go there.
Not getting married, man.
Yeah. No, let me tell you right now, Bart would never do that. It's okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
no,
right.
Bart would never do that.
I wouldn't do it and Chad wouldn't do it. I just know there are some people out I have seen enough TikTok videos to know that not all marriages are great.
So you know your marriage. Would your husband do something like that?
I mean, he really pushes her buttons. So if she really pushes him, he's like, yeah, prove it.
Well, then don't put that in writing.
Yeah.
All right, so read it back in its entirety.
Unfortunately, comma, I am. I know she annoys you, but she's my sister and I can't turn my back on her.
Send.
All right, here I go.
He going right back. Are you serious?
Are you serious? Is your phone broken?
You may have to offer up some special favors every day. That's all I'm saying.
He's going to send a gif of the Joker from Dark Knight. Why so serious? I feel bad for him.
To have somebody in your home that makes you uncomfortable is the worst.
Oh, it is, man. You dread the drive home.
Was that how you felt when I was in your basement for 5 weeks?
Not even a little bit. Yeah, don't ask Stacey.
He's telling us how hard it is.
He locked you down there, didn't he?
Man, not at all.
Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble, guys.
Why?
He wrote, if, quote, temporary, unquote, is more than an afternoon visit, ... no.
Where's the compromise here? Because it's not fair for him to be like, no.
It
I feel
is,
bad.
though. It's his house, too.
It's his house, too, but it's her house, too. Like, she wants to help out her sister, so that's where I'm, like, stuck here. I'm sitting firmly on the fence.
I agree with you, man. It's blood.
Like, if I went and told my husband, Bart was like, no, I'd be like, surprised when they come rolling up with the suitcases tonight. So I'm like, I see both sides, but it's not fair if he gets his way. It's not fair if she gets her way. So where is the compromise?
If you guys did not help her, honestly, what would happen?
She probably would have to go to our parents' house, but that really would be like a nightmare, not only for them, but for us, too.
It sounds like it's going to be a nightmare regardless.
Yeah. If it was me, I would allow it temporarily. However, if he dislikes her so much, I also understand, like I was saying, that drive to your house when you see their car, even if they're not in the same part of the house and you don't see them, that's the one place that you should be most comfortable and free. And if you're not in your own house, then you got to respect that.
Okay, then do this. What's done is done. He said no. So now text your sister and be like, I'm sorry, you can't stay with us. My husband said no.
But first, text your husband and make this work to your advantage. Be like, I hear you and I respect you, and I will grant you this veto, but I get one absolute veto in return. So the next time he asks you for something you really don't want to do,
The scorecard thing, man. This is his house.
Points for me.
And that's her This is not his house. This is their
house. But I mean, you don't go into it going, okay, I'm going to give you this, but in the future, it's not the mafia. I will do this for you now. But
You owe me a favor.
You owe me a favor in the future.
if you make it clear up front, then when he goes to ask for something and you say no and he gets to be a whiny little about it, you can be like, this was our agreement. You vetoed, I veto.
No way.
Well, this is hard. Like, she is asking her husband to do a big favor, and she knows that this is a difficult ask, and this is her sister. It's not like it's some rando friend. This husband does not sound like the kind of guy who is very giving and helpful. If he's being this recalcitrant and difficult over letting his sister-in-law stay for like a couple of weeks, a few weeks,
That's a lot of assuming.
We don't know what kind of drama she's brought into the relationship already for him to want to keep her at a distance. Most likely something that she deserves it. Like, I know it's their house, but he didn't raise her to be an a-hole. Her parents did. So that needs to go on her parents.
And that's where she shall be banned.
That's where she shall be.
Amy, obviously, we are very passionate about your sister, and we don't even know her.
Right.
So my question for you is, are you okay with the fact your husband is completely vetoing this, or do you want to fight to keep your sister in the house? Because only you know what the relationship is really like.
If she does go to my parents, I'm going to be miserable because my mother is going to be like complaining to me all the time, and then my father every once in a while saying stuff too, and then my husband is going to be like, why are you on the phone with them so long? I'm going to be like,
don't answer the phone when they call to complain. It's better than having a rift inside your romantic relationship within your household.
So we are already establishing this is going to be a tense-filled situation. I would still rather have the tenseness outside of my house rather than inside of it.
So do you want tension with your husband, or do you want tension with your family?
I mean, that's just it. It's going to be tension. Like, if she goes to live with them, it's going to be tension with all of us anyway.
Yep.
Amy, I don't think there's much to fight about here with him. I think you do hit him back and say, totally respect that.
I would just hit him back with, okay.
Okay, I get it.
Yes, sir.
Maybe, okay, I get it.
That's it. What can you do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to. It's your decision. I mean, we're kind of putting on you what we think you should do. Ultimately, it's your choice.
It's hard for me to continue to try to text when I think that you got to keep this out of your house to begin with.
Does he have brothers or?
he's an only child, and I think that's part of the problem. Like, he just doesn't
that
get
explains
it.
a lot.
I think that's part of the solution.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need our help in the future, be sure not to call us.
Because we won't give it
Because
to
we
you.
won't do it.
She will not.
I'm sorry. Sorry about your family rifts.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for trying.
Sorry.
You're
You're a good
welcome.
sister.
Good luck.
You tried.
Bye-bye.
You tried.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're on The Burt Show.
An amazing night last night at Avalon. We really caught a break, actually. A week ago, we were supposed to do our noon to night fashion show with our Burt's Big Adventure kids at Avalon, and the weather sucked, like really bad. So bad that it was dangerous, so we had to move it to last night. And dare I say, Kristen, Mo, Davi, it's probably the nicest weather we've ever had for this event.
Oh, easily.
It was awesome. There have been some times back there, it's so hot.
Yeah.
Like, we got kids that are this close to passing out.
Yeah. Melting. That was fall perfection last night.
It was really fantastic.
And everybody's modeling fall outfits from the different shops around Avalon and Alpharetta. So you got layers and sweaters and stuff like that. So it was nice that everybody was comfortable.
I feel like in years past, they gave Mo a couple layers of sweaters, and it was like 90 degrees.
Do you
and I was
remember
like,
the sweat that was pouring down my face? It was much better this year.
Look, focus on the kids, man, because they were amazing last night. This is the kind of event, this is really what Burt's Big Adventure is all about. And if you're a brand new listener, we take kids down to Disney World each and every year that have chronic and terminal illnesses. And our mission really is to make them feel special 24/7, not only on that trip, but during our reunions, blah, blah, blah. Well, this night is a perfect example of that, because there they are, just feeling as special as possible, modeling, walking, and being rolled down a runway also, and just hearing the applause and feeling the love from everybody that was there last night.
And we made sure safety was our top priority. So these were some of our older kids who had gone on earlier Burt's Big Adventure trips. Everybody was 12 and older and had been vaccinated. And so we had some big birthdays last night. Ashlyn had her milestone birthday of 18.
Yep.
And Jennifer turned 21, and they both got to do the blue carpet. Want to thank Callie, Courtney, Charlie, Dominic, Raynell, and then Marie, who absolutely crushed her speech last night on behalf of Burt's Big Adventure.
She's so freaking fantastic. When some of these kids are like, yeah, it's my 21st birthday tonight. I'm like, that can't be.
You went when you were 5.
No. So anybody that went last night or donated, we got to thank you guys, man. This has been a rough year. It's been a really rough year. And for you guys to come on out and hang with us and make these kids feel good and donate. I think we made over $50,000 last night for
We
Burt's Big
did.
Adventure.
Nice.
With the fact that we had to postpone and with the current, conditions and all of it, over $50,000 to every single person in attendance. Thank you. Christy Palm Blake crushed it as our MCs.
All right. Side note here on our dude Blake, man, who was our intern / phone screener, then producer, and now left the show and is doing news down in Columbus. He almost made me cry last night. He did such a good job, man.
Bert was beaming.
I was.
I know it.
Because I was backstage with Kristen. We were BSing with each other, and then I could hear what was going on, and it sounded so smooth on stage. I said to Kristen, that's not Blake, right?
He's fantastic.
He's a whole new person.
He's really, really good. So thank you to Blake.
Our auctioneers
So
just
good.
knocked it out of the park. I mean, everybody. And our Burt's Big Adventure staff, I mean, how they were able to move that event an entire week and put on such a stellar event. And then every single person at Avalon and Alpharetta, you can tell, we love this event, and it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because you can tell everybody's heart is 100% in it, and it's genuine and it's authentic.
Yeah, this is the important stuff here, man. This really is. And every step of the way with Burt's Big Adventure, from when we first started it years ago and had zero. The first thing I ever said about Burt's Big Adventure on the radio station was, this is the idea. I have no idea how to execute it. And from that point forward, Atlanta picked us up and really brought Burt's Big Adventure to us, because we had no idea what we're doing. Now, here we are 20 years later, and you guys are still doing that through really rough times like coronavirus, when it was very difficult for any nonprofit to make money. You guys have stepped up, and you showed up last night too. So it's an extension of what you've been doing for 20 years. So can't thank you guys enough. And
And if you still want to donate, you can.
Not too late.
Text MAGICAL to 50155. We're still taking donations.
All right, there's still some high school football teams around Atlanta that we need to get off of our win-list list this week.
Can't take another loss, can't take another L. We gotta break out out of this loser jail. Can't take another loss, can't take another L. We gotta get a win, can't have another fail. Oh, please pray that we win. We gotta get off this list. Can't go 0-10. We cannot go winless.
All right, we got 10 teams left on our winless list.
All right.
Here we go.
All right.
Here are the games we got.
Let's do it.
North Clayton Eagles of College Park, still winless. They play tonight at Riverdale. St. Francis Knights of Alpharetta.
There's a real school, Riverdale?
Yeah, tonight at Riverdale. St. Francis Knights of Alpharetta got a game tonight at Fellowship Christian. Druid Hills Red Devils of Atlanta have a game tonight at home versus Miller Grove. Douglas Astros of Northwest Atlanta, they got a game tonight away at Midtown. Loganville Christian Lions of Loganville, they are playing away at Wesleyan in Norcross. Heritage Hawks, still on our winless list, they're of Noonan. They got a game tonight at home versus Mount Zion. We have the Centennial Knights of Roswell. Still haven't won a game yet, but maybe tonight at home versus Chattahoochee. Then we have the Johnson Knights of Gainesville. Their next game tonight at home versus Loganville. And Our Lady of Mercy Bobcats. They haven't won since November 3rd of 2017.
Dang.
They've lost 27 games in a row.
No.
Maybe tonight that will change.
It's going to change.
They're playing mercy. They play tonight at home versus Stewart County. And then we also have the Northview Titans of Johns Creek. Their game tonight is at home versus St. Pius Catholic.
All right, I just want to appeal to the senses of the administration at Our Lady of Mercy, right? Like you said, they haven't won since 2017. Yeah. How about a little less money into the education and a little more money into your sports teams and football?
After you lose 27 in a row, I think that's fair.
I mean, do they really need books and stuff?
No.
Every week when I try and get their score after Friday night, it's never there. It's never online. So this week I had to call the office and ask. And the lady on the phone was like, I said, so who won? And she was like, really? she didn't say that.
No.
Her tone did.
Yeah, that was the vibe.
All right. Our Lady of Mercy Bobcats in Fairburn, like the other 9 teams that we have on the list right now. Get off this winless list. Monday, we were walking in here and telling you guys that the Bobcats won.
Listen, it's the Birch.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck, so you ordered the essentials, a power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you used your Bank of America customized cash rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Show.
I wish it was like, whatever I've seen in the movies about the 50s where you could just go outside and punch somebody in the face, beat their ass, and not have to go to jail.
Bert, Kristen, Davi, and Mo on The Bert Show.
Look, generally speaking, if there is a source of tension in your relationship, you can try to avoid it, man. Just don't talk about it. I know for my fiance and I, even though we're both vaccinated, we have very different ideas of the vaccination. And every time we start to get into it, or we talk about science or what's up, it ends up in an argument. So we've agreed. You know what? It's off the table. We're both vaccinated. Why not? We don't got to talk about that anymore, right? However, when the tension is food between the two people, how do you come to a compromise?
Why? Why is this so hard and so complicated and always just...
You're tired.
Food is hard?
You're just so tired.
We're here for you.
Every single day, my husband asks me, what do you want for dinner? And every single day I say, I don't know. And I don't know why it's so difficult.
That part's not bad. If there's a follow-up to this, I'm going to be infuriated for him.
What do you mean?
When you say, I don't know, and then he picks something, and then you go, no.
Yeah.
And then he picks something else, and you're like, no.
I'm not in the mood for that.
We just needed you to rattle off things to know exactly what we didn't want.
It's ridiculous.
I hate this game. I do hate this game.
It's not a fun game at all.
It is so stupid. It really honestly is. It is ridiculous the amount of time we spend trying to figure out what the bleep we're going to eat. It is just downright stupid.
Same.
And the fact that we are fortunate enough to even have food to eat, come on now, just eat something. Just eat something. But I don't know what I want to eat. And it ends up becoming like it's something else that gets added to your mental load. And I see now my algorithms are completely different on all my social media accounts because I'm seeing all the mom stuff now. And moms are just like, nobody told me that I was going to have to decide what everybody eats for the rest of my life. I did not sign up for this. Like for
So much
like
pressure.
the kids, you, the husband, like everybody. But my husband, he's a stay-at-home dad right now, and he's crushing it. And meals are one of his responsibility. And so he puts my lunchbox together for work, and he handles the grocery shopping. So this, in all sincerity, I think it's causing me strife. No, ultimately, it's causing him the most frustration. So I just did it. I said it. I blurted it out, and I couldn't take it back. You choose every meal for me for the next week, and I can't complain.
Oh, nice.
That's glorious.
Are you capable of actually doing that?
We'll see.
So no matter what he says, you just gotta go for it.
I didn't put the grocery list together. He's putting the grocery list together. He's doing the meal planning. He's choosing what we eat for an entire week. And what I'm like a little kid, whatever he puts in front of me,
You have to eat
I
it.
have to eat.
You can't say a word.
I can't say a word. I whenever I open up my lunchbox next week for work to see, I will be completely surprised because I will not know what's in there. I do not get a say because he's tired. I'm tired. There's other things we need to focus on. Again, I do not know why this is so contentious, but it is, and it's honestly it's what causes the most disagreements in our house, and it's stupid.
So there needs to be a restaurant called I Don't Know. Like there needs to be a restaurant called I Don't Know that's like a cheesecake factory where the menu is just insanely big. They have everything because every man's complaint is my wife just says I don't know what I want to eat.
But she does know what she wants. Here's my gripe. You're going right down a tense alley for me right now, okay?
Bring it on down.
All right, so my fiance is the same way. You know what? I got so much going on in my day. Will you do me a favor on our date nights? Will you just choose the place so I don't have to use anything on my mental plate? Just choose a place, Bert. Okay, how about Los Hermanos? No. How about blank? No. How about blank? No. So you know what I do now is I choose places I know she's going to say no to. I don't put any effort into it at all because I know she's going to veto my place.
Oh, you're like my brothers when they had to start washing dishes. They just started breaking them. And my mom was like, oh, you're too stupid to wash dishes. So then it got put on us girls. You're an evil genius.
Yeah, well, before I was spending a lot of time actually trying to think, like, where would she want to go, pick the perfect place, and then she would veto it every time. So now I just come to the table with 3 random restaurants. I know she's going to veto all 3 anyway. All right.
What happens after that?
We go where she wants.
Oh, she finally picks a place after the third
she stresses
one.
herself out and finds a restaurant.
I'm asking for myself. I'm trying to learn how this works.
So what are your repercussions if you can't pull this off, Kristen?
I don't know. We don't have the repercussions yet. I was just in like a moment of panic, and I said it, and he was like, that sounds glorious.
Yeah.
Like he is about it. I go, because I said, we're trying to make life easier. And when I said that, I go, would that make your life easier? And he goes, you have no idea. And I'm like, all right then.
Awesome.
So if you want, I don't want that responsibility. Apparently, I make it harder for you anyway. So you get to go ahead and choose and pick. It doesn't matter what I'm in the mood for. Like whatever's in the refrigerator is in the refrigerator. When I come home from work, I got to open up the refrigerator, and whatever I see is what's there, and that's what I have to eat for lunch.
Do you think he'll be petty for at least one of those days?
I hope not.
Yes, I mean, you
I'm
don't
still
want
feeding another human being. He can't do that.
Okay.
It isn't just sustenance for me. It's also sustenance for Jimmy.
He doesn't have the petty gene that the rest of us do.
No, I was like, you're going to find out really quickly if he has any like harboring resentment at all, because you're going to come home today. It's going to smell like chili in your house, and I know you hate chili.
I'm not a fan of chili.
Listen, it's The Bert Show.
Hey, real quick, happy birthday to Lindsay Hazard.
Yay, Lindsay!
I know you're shocked right now that we're actually acknowledging your birthday, but Jim, your husband, called up and said, hey, can you guys do me a favor?
We appreciate you both listening to The Bert Show and talking about all the crazy antics you hear, and we hope you have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you for listening. Obviously, you have a great husband,
Yep.
and we hope you enjoy your special day.
Happy birthday, Lindsay, and I hope you party it up in Dallas. Thanks for listening to The Bert Show.
This is The Bert Show.
All right, so Davi invited, you guys remember the RBF girl? at Davi's stand-up.
Yep.
Yeah, so like after being in a pandemic and postponing 5 shows 16 times, it seemed like we finally like solidified, kept them. We were like, oh, numbers are going down for COVID. Let's do this thing. So we did comedy shows in a sort of pandemic. Oh, and then that Delta variant came stomping into the room and kind of closed down venues again. But it's okay. We got through it.
Are you guys keeping your eyes on this the Mu variant?
Oh, no.
You heard about this one?
No.
That's the next one.
Oh, man.
And that's the one that the vaccine don't take care of. And it's already in every state.
All right.
Just keep your eyes on that one.
I was so looking forward to today. I had so much hope for this weekend.
You said you want to die inside a little bit every day. I was just trying to help you out.
I didn't say that. I already died inside.
Big joke over there on that one.
You're trying to die me on the outside. I said I was dead inside. Okay, so yeah, part of being dead inside is you're a stand-up comedian. So I've been doing that. And the very first show to kick it off, which was like nerve-wracking for me because, hey, I'm an insecure individual. And walking out to a room of like 350 people, like sold out audience in the middle of a pandemic was jarring because I go from being on a Zoom screen and entertaining you guys, whether you laugh or not, I don't know. And it's very silent on Zoom. Sometimes there's a delay. Sometimes it's sad. So then you go into a room like full of laughter. It was overwhelming. I was overstimulated. But there was one girl sitting in the front row that I couldn't stop staring at. I was fixated and she didn't seem happy. She was eating like the entire show. Like I was up there for like 90 minutes and she was just chewing the entire time. And I was like, how many tacos are they going to give this broad? Like, how has she been chewing for an hour and a half? And it's like aggressive chewing. And she was really pretty. So that messed me up too, because really pretty people are more intimidating. I know Mo said he's been intimidated by plenty of ugly people.
Yeah, that's a
but
fact.
yeah, which they can be too. But like when it's a really pretty person just chewing and staring at you and you're like giving all your best and everybody around them's laughing, but not them, it's hard not to fixate and ruminate. So like the entire show, it was just like throwing me off.
You're like, I'm gonna make her laugh.
Yeah, so I was determined, and then she wasn't. She just kept chewing more taco, and I was like, ah. So I called her Cindy, and I was like, what is Cindy's problem when I talked about her on the air? And in the show, I was like, finally, like after an hour and 15, I was like, are you having a good time?
You literally stopped the show.
Yeah.
You're on stage and started addressing her.
Yeah, and she nodded, and I said, are you sure?
Because your face doesn't
I said, someone should tell your face.
Text your face.
Like, if your heart feels happy, let your face know. I would love to see it. I'd love to see it. You look like there was a death in your family. You know, like I didn't go far into it. I was just like, fix your face. And then we moved on. And then I felt
That's
real
not
bad.
far, huh?
I only got one request. Fix your face.
Real surface level. Nothing major.
I would love if all your future gigs, the first thing you do when you walk out is scan the front row and be like, nope, you got to go back there.
Yeah.
Your faces.
We
You're
toyed
good.
with that idea.
That was the debate that brought to Broadly Speaking, as I was like, okay, we'll call her Cindy. She had RBF, like mad RBF the whole time, and I couldn't handle it. And I know it's on me. I know it's my brain. I know it's my insecurity. I know it's me ruminating. But can I ask RBF people to move to the back of the room? And Cassie was like, no, because Cassie thinks she has a case of RBF sometimes. She also has like nervous laughter when people talk about death.
Yeah.
So Cassie's just messed up. Like she doesn't laugh at funny things and she laughs at death.
My suggestion was like a RBF bouncer. Like
Yeah.
you start lining up and you got a dude that is judging you. And if he thinks that you got RBF, he's going to let you in. You just got to be in the back where Dobby can't see.
Yes.
It's dark.
So she wrote me an email after I talked about it on air, and I was like, I just want to apologize. I work for a theater company. I know how important it is to have audience participation, and like you enjoying yourself adds to the performance, and I feel like I ruined that. So she's like, I want to apologize for my face, not in general, but just that night. And she was the sweetest apology ever. I felt so bad. So I invited her and her mom back to my last show last weekend. I invited them out, had them a nice little table set up in our little VIP section, not right up front.
In the back? Okay.
A little over to the left in the shadows. You know what I'm talking about by the door. Yeah. And then, and I had to point her out a few times just to make sure she was having a good time. Yeah, this tour has been crazy. We kicked it off actually like when we could finally stop postponing shows. We kicked it off with another City Winery gig right here on stage July 23rd, and I was very nervous. I was freaking out, and I actually talked about this on air. There was an unfortunate happening where I let someone's face affect me. I thought she wasn't having a good time, and I was like, oh my God, we got some RBF in the front row. And I invited her here tonight. Sydney Lee and her mama. There they are. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry I'm so insecure. But maybe you should put your masks back on. I'm kidding. But are you good? How is everything? How are you feeling? Drinks are flowing, food's good. How's the temperature in here? Should I have someone come fan you? Can we feed her some grapes and fan her? I want to make sure you're comfy tonight. Sydney Lee's happy, I'm happy. I'm so happy you guys could come out, for real. It's amazing. So yeah, I let that get to me and talked about it on the radio, and then Sydney was like, hey, it was me. She said, sorry about my face, not in general, but just for that night. And I was like, I'm such an I'm so mean. Yep, they came, they joined me here, and her mom took pictures with me. I want to steal her hair color. She's so cute. She's a bright pink, and they had a good time. They were smiling the whole time. I actually did have a giant fan and a plate of grapes, and I was like, do you want us to fan you and feed you grapes during the show? And she's like, no, thank you.
So is the RBF passed down from generation to generation as you were hanging out? Does mom have a touch of it?
Her mom left her mask on the entire time, so I could not tell you. Maybe it skipped a generation.
Mom's is a vet.
Yeah.
She know what time it is.
Great Granny had RBF. Granny had RBF.
Down generation to generation.
Mama's got it, and so do I.
They were so cute.
This is The Burt Show. What's trending now? Kristen knows. It's The Burt Show's entertainment buzz.
Kim Kardashian West will host Saturday Night Live on October 9th. And maybe she's going to crush it. Or maybe she's going to bomb. When I heard the news, I searched for worst SNL host ever. And I found Rolling Stone's list of the 20 worst SNL hosts they've had in all their years.
I know that the most difficult on set has been legendary, and I think it was Steven Seagal. I think that everybody just said that he was just a pain in the booty.
He's the number one.
He's the number one. Yeah.
I can see that.
He's the number one. He made number one on their list.
I know Adrian Brody.
He was on the list
got
as well.
Kicked. Really? He's not allowed to host ever again.
Really?
Yeah, he did something. He came out to announce the musical artist, but he made a racist joke. He didn't play it by anybody. He wore his own costume. He did his own thing.
Like a Mo doing the quick search.
Yeah,
right?
I can't remember exactly what it was. Well, Lorne Michaels was like, you did not clear that with us. You will never host SNL again. And it was a big thing.
Really?
And everybody was like, Adrian Brody, you were just in that movie, The Pianist. You're a great actor. You're not a comedian. Why would you do that? It was so awkward.
Right.
So here's some other people that made the list. Lance Armstrong appeared on SNL in 2005, and there was an unpeeling cockiness when he hosted. Then you have UFC WWE star Ronda Rousey.
Really?
What? So it wasn't because she was a D-bag or anything. So a blizzard hit New York when she was hosting, and so it complicated things a little bit. But the whole episode, everybody said, had the whole let's get this over with and go home vibe. Mm-hmm. And she resorted to exaggerated facial expressions and arm gestures in the place of actual acting. It just wasn't.
Okay, wasn't into it.
Mm-mm. She's a lot more humble nowadays.
Yeah.
There's somebody else
who get knocked out a couple times. That happened.
Yep. Holly Holm knocked her down.
Mm-hmm. So there is somebody else who has been banned along with Adrian Brody, and that is Martin Lawrence.
Really?
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence effectively got himself banned from SNL after he pushed the boundaries of good taste during his opening remarks, delivering a long, gross, and sexist routine about the importance of female hygiene.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Now, was this when he was going through his nutty time, though? Remember? He went through a phase there where he just kind of lost it. Yeah.
He was doing well. I don't remember what movie he was promoting, but he was doing well.
So in reruns, there's actually an apologetic disclaimer that runs in lieu of the bit. His episode never recovered, and he never returned. Paris Hilton was terrible on SNL.
Hosted? Oh.
Tina Fey complained to Howard Stern that she seemed almost defiantly disengaged during the planning stages of her episode, behaving as though everyone should be grateful. She even agreed to host, and she gave less than 100% in her sketches. According to Bill Hader, both times Justin Bieber appeared on SNL. First as a musical guest, then later as the host. He was surrounded by such a big, fussy entourage that neither the cast nor the writers could have casual, creative interactions. They need to build the show. So that lack of preparation was evident. He seemed unconcerned about hitting his marks, relied on little flexes and winks at the crowd to get like people and like fans to like cheer at him and stuff.
Was that Justin Bieber when he was like really going, wasn't it after the SNL performance when he went into that basement at the club, like at the after party, and he peed in that mop bucket?
Probably, that
and there was
phase.
a picture of Bill Clinton on the wall, and he's like, F you, Bill Clinton.
Yes.
It's like, what's your problem?
It was so random. Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps never seemed all that comfortable throughout the night. He looked like he was just putting his head down and trying to push through as fast as he could. And then another Olympian that made the Hall of Shame list, Nancy Kerrigan.
Really?
Yeah, just that she didn't like the spotlight. It was all about the scandal, not so much her Olympic feats. And so,
yeah, you got to go in there. I'm thinking you got to like really be able to make fun of yourself.
Yeah.
So Kim Kardashian, it's just going to have to
What
just
did
take
Nancy
it on.
Kerrigan expect them to joke about?
Yeah.
I mean, your knee is the star of the show.
Yeah. But the consensus pick for worst host ever by anyone working at SNL at the time, including Lorne Michaels, was Steven Seagal. He combined the worst traits of every single person on this list. He was rudely dismissive of the jokes, countering with ideas for sketches that had him less or more playing himself. He even refused to do the Hans and Franz bit with Dana Carvey and Kevin Nealon because they were fans of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Petty can you be?
He's such a brat.
That's hilarious.
What is that dude doing now? Because nobody ever has a good thing to say about him. Man.
I have absolutely no idea. I'll find out for you in the next Entertainment Buzz. Where in the world is Steven Seagal? All right, and then lastly, Kelly Clarkson has released a Christmas song that sounds like it might be a slap at her ex-husband. It's titled "Christmas Isn't Canceled, Just You."
Oh.
I'll be hanging every light I find in this house, playing Christmas music so loud. This year Christmas won't be quite so blue, and I'm gonna shop too much and dance in the snow. Drink just enough to let us go. Christmas isn't canceled, just you.
Love it.
That's amazing.
That's right.
We're getting a divorced Christmas album. It's the best Christmas ever.
Merry Christmas.
It's The Burt Show.
Is the way that one wants to celebrate their wedding day a possible deal breaker? That's what Monica's wondering here, because she just got proposed to. She said yes, but they have very different ideas of what that wedding day should look like. And she's really nervous she's going to turn him off so badly that's a deal breaker, which I doubt. Hey, Monica.
Hey.
He would have to feel really super strongly about the actual wedding day for it to be a deal breaker, right?
I mean, I'm hoping so.
All right, so what's...
I'm not sure.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so what's going on between you and he?
So we never really talked about marriage in a serious way. Honestly, him proposing was pretty unexpected, and obviously I said yes, and I want to. But I honestly just never thought he was actually ready, and I myself didn't want to seem pushy or eager. So the talk never happened, but of course I said yes, and he doesn't know. And I think he probably assumed otherwise, is that I have zero desire for a wedding. I don't have a big family, and I don't have a lot of close friends. I'm pretty introverted, and he's the complete opposite. He's got a big family and tons of friends, and he's really outgoing. I mean, that's part of why, we work so well together. Mm-hmm. But he's already talking about the big day, and I don't want that at all. I want to elope. I feel really strongly about not having a big traditional wedding. It's just not in me. So I am really worried that it is going to be a deal breaker for him because he is, a big people person. I don't know how to tell him.
I think you might be blowing this a little bit out of proportion here. You're talking about a deal breaker. You don't want a big wedding, then we are over. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yeah, but it could happen. I mean, some guys want the party just as much as some brides. Like, I was like, small wedding, not big, little, let's go to an island somewhere, invite like 12 people. And my husband was like, I want a party. Like, he wanted a party in his hometown with all his favorite people. And that's what we gave him, the wedding he'd always dreamed of.
Is that right?
Yeah.
1-855-BERT Show. Mo?
I completely understand being introverted and not necessarily wanting to do that. But, like, if it's one day, why are you so against giving it to him?
I guess it brings up a lot for me in terms of the fact that I don't have as close of a family as he does, and that, like, I don't know, I shut down a little bit when there's like a lot of people.
That was difficult for me when we both put together our list of who we wanted to invite, and then we like on other ends of the house, and then we came together, and his was like 3 times as big as mine, and I was like, oh man, so now we have to cut out people. And then seeing, like, I just didn't want a church wedding with 2 different sides because I knew my side was going to be so sad and dwindling and feeble, and his was going to be so big.
Yeah.
And it's tough. So like a lot of weddings is like, don't pick a side, we're all family today, because they don't want to make a certain family member feel sad. And it's really hard not to notice how different your family dynamic is from somebody that has that big, loving, boisterous family. Like anybody that's going to marry Mo.
Party.
Yeah, that's
Big
a
time.
party.
Yes.
We're going to need a state.
Yeah.
Maria, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show. Can you help Monica out here?
Yeah, hi. I was just going to say that my fiance and I were in a similar situation. I wanted to elope, and he definitely wanted the wedding, but I'm very introverted, so we kind of just agreed that we were just going to do 50 people, so I think you can definitely at least try and compromise.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, at least for me, I think that a lot of weddings have a lot of people that attend that aren't really part of that tight circle anyway, that you're trying to appease family members and you're not really close to. And for me now, when I get married, I really want it to be the people that really care for me the most. It's going to mean something that day.
So there's a couple ways that Monica could go with this. She could, every single idea you have for the wedding, think of every worst idea. I want to get married by an Elvis with a llama bride and a llama groom.
Yes.
In a barn, you know, like with horses. Like say every awful thing that he'll be like, this is getting worse and worse and worse. She has no good ideas and it's terrible. And then when you bust out, like, let's just elope at this beautiful little intimate venue that I found on Pinterest that's local to us, and you can't have like more than 30 people in there, that'll be like splendid for him.
Or she'll have so many dumb ideas, he's going to go like, is this somebody I really want to marry?
I don't think anybody would
could easily backfire.
If you said, I want to have possum bouquets instead of actual flowers, I don't think somebody would leave you because of that.
Done. Gone.
What is a possum bouquet?
Like every bridesmaid holds a possum.
You know what? Maybe marrying
You haven't seen that, Tommy?
You haven't
Weirdo.
seen
That's the wedding I'd want a ticket for.
That's a West Virginia wedding. The roadkill bouquets.
Erica, good morning. What's up?
Good morning.
Hey.
So I was in the same position as her when I got married 2 years ago. I don't have a lot of family. He has a giant family and lots of friends. I don't have very many friends. We did the wedding for him. I had 2 people there out of everyone, and we invited all his family, and only probably 50 showed up out of hundreds of people. We spent thousands of dollars on this wedding, regretted it. So I say just talk to him, because in the end, both of us, my husband wanted it. I didn't. Even he agrees. He wishes we eloped and spent the money on something better, like an amazing honeymoon or paying off our student loans.
I feel like I am determined to ruin the wedding industry.
Usually I see your wheels turning.
You've been at it for a
So
while.
much stress, man. So much money. Monica, here's the thing, though. You know, this whole thing came out of nowhere for you guys. You haven't even really talked about wedding. You hadn't talked about marriage. So he may be assuming that this is what you want, and it might not even be what he wants. But you guys haven't even had a talk about it yet. So I think this thing might be blowing up in your head more than it's going to be this weekend.
That's a good point. And it's helpful to hear like the other perspectives. I guess I feel better about talking to him.
And after the wedding is this really like crazy thing called marriage, and the yuckiest part of it is communicating.
Yeah.
So you might want to try that like preemptively and just see how you guys do with it.
Just see if it fits.
Warm 'em up to 'em.
Does it fit?
Just see if it fits. Communication
It's a good
fits.
Here, Bert Show.
It got real when it got gross.
Story of my life. I think maybe we've all had that moment in our relationship where something happens, gross or disgusting, and it's just like it takes the relationship to that next level.
Like, now I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen you in this state, so here it is.
We are destined to be together forever because we've had this experience together. It was gross, but it was real, and we're comfortable enough to be like that in front of each other. We are meant to be. And my husband and I have been like this for the longest time. We've had these moments before, but then another one happened the other day, and I was like, wow, I am a disgusting human being. And this is the man I am meant to be with for the rest of my life. So if you have any of those that you would like to share, like that moment in your relationship, you're like, oh yeah, we got it. We're going to be in it for the long haul because of what we just experienced together. That was gross or disgusting. 1-855-BERT show. Because I went outside in the backyard barefoot, which I shouldn't have done because we have a ton of pine trees and we have tons of pine cones, and then pieces break off, and they're those really like deadly pine cones that have the sharp edges on them. And I'm out there walking around. Bart's playing with dogs. I'm holding Jimmy, and I stepped on one of those pine cone pieces, and it like pierced the bottom of my foot. And I looked and I investigated, and nothing got stuck in it. So I'm like, all right, well, it's fine. It'll heal. It hurts, whatever. But it didn't, and it steadily got worse. And it grew, and it became like some kind of pus-filled thing.
Neat. Oh, you had me at pus.
Yeah. And it's right in the arch of my foot. So like when I walk, I can like stand here and it's not like fully pressing on the ground, but so and it's on the bottom of my foot. It would not heal. And I wasn't taking the proper care of it because that's how I am. So I finally had to like ask my husband, I go, hey, will you look at this? And if you need to, will you pop it?
On your foot.
Yeah. So we're in the kitchen, and there I am. I got my foot up like that, and he's investigating. And he's like, damn, what'd you do? And I'm like, I stepped on a pine cone. And like, is it bad? And he's like, yeah.
And the kitchen is a good place for all this because it's not like food's going to be made in there or anything.
No, it's the best light. And
Right over the dinner table.
we were over by the coffee maker. And so sure enough, I had to ask my husband to pop the pus-filled wound on the bottom of my foot to release the pressure.
That is some love. That's some love.
So for the next 3 days, he's been rubbing it with rubbing alcohol, putting Neosporin on it in a Band-Aid. Now, in all sincerity, I could probably do this myself. Like, oh, hey.
You're just making them work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Yeah.
You prove your love to me.
It's not a pimple on your back.
No.
It's your foot.
It's accessible for me, but I really want him to look at it.
So that just scratches the surface compared to Tommy and Renee's story. That's that's the Hall of Fame story. You want to do that one again here, Tommy?
Yeah. So
I've never actually heard this full story.
Oh, yeah.
So, no.
There I was, itching and burning in my manhole.
Wow. Be specific.
Yeah.
I did not have
The front
hemorrhoids.
one or the back
The
one?
front manhole or the back one.
There's a couple of them.
The back one.
Yeah.
And
And you scream. You did not have hemorrhoids?
I did not. It was just a little itchy and burny.
I'd hope it was hemorrhoids.
I'd taken a shower, hoping that would cure it. It did not. Put out the fire.
Did you really get in there with a loofah, though?
Spread the butt
A
cheeks.
loofah?
Did you put the work in?
That would hurt. It's burning, Dobby. You
All
don't
right.
do that. That's like putting sandpaper on a sunburn.
You said it itches. I thought that would feel good.
Good God, no. So I thought it'd be a good idea after it was still burning. I get out of the shower. We have a ceiling fan over our bed. So spread eagle, butt naked, face down, ceiling fan on high.
Are you spreading your butt cheeks, or like are you on your knees to spread your butt cheeks?
No, I'm like spread eagle laying down on the bed.
Got it.
Just trying to picture me in a frozen jumping jack.
You were in the starfish
on my bed.
position.
Yes.
Do I have to?
So you,
I would rather not.
so you have your
Good job,
cheeks
Kristen.
spread automatically.
Yeah, so the fan, even on high, was not. I needed to go to Lowe's and get one of those big ass industrial fans. It's like 15 feet across.
You need my Dyson Supersonic hair dryer.
It wasn't working, so I had to call in backup,
Literally.
which is Renee,
Yeah.
Your wife of how
my
many
wife,
years?
25 years,
We need back up to my back door. Get in here.
and she agreed to to blow on the burning area.
On your butthole, say it.
It felt so good.
Oh, good.
You didn't even have to convince her. You just asked her once, and she's just right on it like that.
That's love.
Man, I got it like that.
She's whipped.
Serious love. Alexis, most of these stories are going to have to do with the back area.
Does it now?
Yeah. Alexis,
Hey.
I'm watching the calls come in, and I just want you to know that you represent like the next 3 calls if I took them all. They've all have had to do this.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
What happened?
What did you do?
Okay, so my husband and I had been married for like 2 years, and honestly, he hadn't used the bathroom number 2 for like 3 weeks. And we had tried everything, like literally everything. And, you know, our last case scenario was an enema. And so kind of like Tommy, he laid on our living room floor, spread eagle, and I helped him with his enema.
Good for you. Good for you, I think.
Did it work?
And he finally pooped.
Success story.
It's a real love story. It's a real love story.
It's true love.
Yeah, Tiff and I, we don't have that kind of reservoir of love, I don't think. We would probably die of some kind of butt thing before we did that for each other.
Well,
You
there
on
are
your own in this
hospitals.
relationship.
There are doctors. There are doctors for these things. It doesn't have to go on our spouse.
It doesn't. And there are single people out there who still have these same issues, and they are able to take care of them. So
Yeah, I mean, certainly you have a best friend that will come over and blow into your butthole.
Imagine that, Cole.
That is what
Hey,
a
man, you
hairdryer
busy?
is for.
in the group chat, hey, who's game for coming over? I need somebody to blow on my butthole.
Brittany, good morning. You are on the Voice Disguiser. Hello.
Hi there.
Okay. You had to prove your love in what way?
Okay, so my now husband and I, we've been together for 6 years, and basically I was in the middle of labor. I want to say I was in labor for about 19 hours. I had 2 epidurals, and in the middle of pushing,
Yep.
he basically told me that the doctor was sitting down there, you know, both hands open or whatever, and he said that in the middle of pushing, I ended up pooping on the table.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yep.
And I did not know it. And he told me it was the weirdest thing because it kind of disgusted him and shocked him. And he basically said the doctor just flicked off the poop.
Oh, yeah.
Pulled off the glove, put on a new glove, and just waited for the baby to pop out. And he's just sitting there looking around like, is this normal? Like, well, what is going on?
That is not the baby that I was expecting. This is not my baby.
That one needed to cook longer.
No, that one's been overcooked.
We're going to need a test.
We needed to keep that in there or something. He wasn't ready.
Something ain't right.
That's real love right there, man.
Watching your significant other actively go number 2.
That's real love.
It is.
The Burt Show.
All right, Mo, this serious kind of turn here.
Yeah.
Had a friend's mom want to talk to you before she passed?
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I wasn't sure how to feel about it, to be honest. So my best friend, one of my best friends who I grew up with, we've been best friends forever. And his mom I'm close to her. I used to go over to his house a lot, so I had a really good relationship with his mom. She looked at me as one of her sons. And unfortunately, her cancer took over her body, and they gave her a month to live at the time. And she lived a little longer, but it was one of those situations where he got to be by her side the entire time. He was there every day with his brothers, and you know he was leaning on me, and I was trying my best to be a friend in this situation, which I found out is just very difficult, you know, because he's going through a lot of different emotions every day, saying bye to his mom. So it got to the point where she started to kind of lose her appetite. She started to lose her sense of humor, and everyone knew, like, okay, we're getting toward the end now.
It was imminent.
Yep. And it was a few things that she wanted to do. And one of those things were she wanted to FaceTime me. She wanted to FaceTime all of the men that she felt like were a son to her. And he texts me and he's like, yo, one of mom's last wishes is to just FaceTime you. She just wants to talk to you. And I said, of course, let me know. But to be honest, I'm like really bad at that. Like I was terrible when my grandmother went through it. I don't like to see people in their last moments. I kind of rather remember them how I remember them. But at the same time, I'm like, you can't say no to this. There's no way I have to do this. So like the entire day I had such anxiety about it. And I felt guilty for feeling bad about not wanting to do it, and I kind of kept putting it off, and like it was an experience I just wasn't really looking forward to. Sure. But I felt like I had to
It'd be strange if you were.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah, of course. But I knew how important it was to her, how important it was to him. And so as I got home, it was really late. It was like a Friday night. And to be honest, I didn't even expect him to be up. But I sent him a text and I said, if you're awake, let's do it. And he texted me right back and he said, I'll FaceTime you in a little bit. And I did. And we spoke. We had about a 10-minute conversation, and it was by far like the hardest conversation I've ever had. I mean, it was just a bunch of crying, and her telling me like what I meant to her, me telling her what she meant to me, and me thanking her for allowing me to be a part of her family all these years. And it was a visual that was really difficult to get out of my head, and has been ever since, just to see her like that. But at the same time, she was really excited. She was really happy that she had that moment with me. And he told me, like, bro, all of this time of me being by her side, that was the most energy she gave us, especially in the last moments, because she's just so proud of me and all of the things that I've been able to accomplish. And she got to tell me that, and I got to tell her that. And I was glad I did it afterward. As hard as it was leading up to it, the anticipation of it, I was glad I did it. And then she transitioned, and, you know, I'm happy that I had that moment with her. But also what it did for me was it gave me closure with my grandmother, because for a while I was upset with my uncle, because when my grandmother was in the same situation, they made the call for her not to FaceTime me because she wanted to. It was one of the last things that she wanted as well. They even found in her text drafts when they went through her phone that I was the last person she tried to text. She tried to say that she loved me. And they got to say bye to her. And literally she was waving bye at them while she's in the ventilator. And they made that call for me. Like, he doesn't need to see this. He should remember her the way that he does. And I was really upset about that. Like, for a while, I couldn't get over it. And I didn't tell him. I mean, we're all going through the same, what's it going to do, really? So I kept it to myself. But for a while, I couldn't let go of the fact that I could have had that moment. I could have had that experience of saying bye to my grandmother. But in having it with my friend's mom, I could not do that with my grandmother. I knew it immediately. There's just no way. Like, as difficult as it has been for me to get the visual of her in that state out of my mind, I don't know what that would have done if I had had that same visual with my grandmother. And my uncle has been struggling with it, and he was honest with me about that. And I realized then that I probably needed this. I needed this closure to know that what me and my grandmother had before that, the moments that we had before she was in that state, were enough. They were plenty just for me to remember her the way she was when I remembered her. I didn't want that. So it did a lot for me. I was proud of myself for kind of getting over the fear I had of talking to her in that moment. And I also felt the closure that I feel like I needed in knowing that I didn't need that moment with my grandmother.
It's a Burt Show.
The Burt Show. What's trending now? Kristen knows. It's the Burt Show's entertainment buzz.
Sorry, I didn't have it pulled up, and that's my bad. Billie Eilish says she's lost 100,000 social media followers because of her boobs. So if you remember that photo shoot she did not that long ago, showing more skin with her blonde hair and wearing bustiers, and it was the first time people had seen Billie Eilish not wearing baggy clothing, right? And everybody made a huge stink about it. We thought you weren't going to use your sexuality, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, my body, my choice. I can show it off whenever, however, if I do, if I don't. Like, what is the big deal? And after she did that photo shoot, lost 100,000 followers. In the new issue of Elle, she says, I lost 100,000 followers just because of the boobs. People are scared of big boobs. You're not even supposed to really know who you are until you're at least my age or older. I'm still the same person. I'm not just different Barbies with different heads. And Madonna also gave her 2 cents in the same article. She goes, the problem is we still live in a very sexist world where women are put into categories. You're either in the virgin category or the whore category. Women should be able to portray themselves in any way they want. If Billy were a man, no one would be writing about this.
Yeah, we are living in a different world now where you're losing followers because of showing your boobs.
Yeah, right? And there's a new animated Super Mario Brothers movie coming out December of 2022. They just announced the cast, and it's pretty stacked. Chris Pratt is going to be the voice of Mario.
I don't like it.
It makes no sense to me.
I don't like it. Who's his brother?
Charlie Day is playing Luigi.
What? That's great.
Who dat?
That's excellent. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's also in Horrible Bosses. He's the one that the loud one, the dental assistant.
Mm-hmm.
That's always he's spazzing out.
All right.
Yeah, he almost
he's
killed
funny.
Kevin Spacey with peanuts.
Yep.
And then the lead actress from Queen's Gambit,
Yep.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Is she going to be Princess Peach?
She's Princess Peach.
That's perfect.
She is
got that one
Princess
right.
Peach.
Right?
Her face is Princess Peach.
And this is animated, right?
This is animated.
Okay, so it's just the voices.
It's just the voices.
Oh.
Bowser will be played by Jack Black.
That's good.
Toad is going to be Keegan Michael Key.
Oh, that one don't make sense.
And Donkey Kong is going to be Seth Rogen.
Okay. That makes sense.
I didn't.
Do we have a Waluigi?
No.
Waluigi.
No, I do not have that. Who's Cranky Kong?
Oh,
I remember Cranky Kong.
yeah.
Do you?
It's like Donkey's grandpa or something,
remember
or
what-
cousin.
I don't know.
Donkey Kong had Diddy Kong and Cranky Kong, and he had a whole family. at some
Cranky
point.
Kong's old.
Yeah,
That's Fred Armisen.